Back in early June, I shared a video of two cedar waxwings performing their elegant courtship display, passing a berry back and forth, followed by a brief hop. Since then, I've followed them through the full arc of a nesting season, from courtship to nest construction to the moment when young birds leave the nest and enter the world. I found 3 active nests, but I'll focus on 2 here for brevity's sake. Nest number 2 was discovered on July 2nd, and it all began with a mulberry. I spotted a waxwing perched with one in its beak, not eating it, just holding it, and giving that soft, buzzy sree call they use to stay in contact with their mate. So I waited, and sure enough, the bird led me straight to its mate, and then both to the beginning of their nest, which was just a loose, see-through cup of twigs. What struck me most, however, was what happened next. Both the male and female participated in building. They took turns gathering material. Sometimes one would arrive and wait patiently for the other. Sometimes they'd return together, side by side. They both placed twigs and soft plant material into the growing cup, but only one, most likely the female, would settle in to weave and tuck. Over the next few days, that fragile frame became a substantial nest, decorated with dangling bits of plant material and fibers. That nest and the cooperation I witnessed as I followed 4 different nests being built left me in awe. I found nest 3 a week later on July 9th. The story was familiar. I saw a male holding a berry, flying from perch to perch, offering it to his mate. She flew off a few times before finally accepting it. As I followed them, I discovered this nest number 3 already built, and the female moved into it and began incubating. That's one of the things I love about waxwings. They're quiet birds, subtle. You rarely find their nests by sound. You find them by noticing what others overlook. A stillness, a glance, a berry held too long. On July 21st, I looked into that same nest and saw 4 tiny heads bobbing just above the rim, necks craning, mouths wide open. 4 chicks. And over the days that followed, they became the real stars of the show. Now, on July 24th, something happened at Nest 2 that I'll never forget. When I turned my binoculars to look at the nest, I saw that both parents were sitting side by side, looking into the nest, and the male fed the female, and then both together would lean over the nest and regurgitate food into the mouths of the chicks. I've never seen that kind of cooperative feeding before. Most songbirds take turns, but these 2 fed their young in tandem. It was beautiful and rare. I didn't see it again. I only witnessed it that one time. Back at Nest 3, a mere 4 days after I'd first seen the little bobbleheads, I checked back in and couldn't believe how much bigger and different they already looked. They had changed considerably, sitting up in the nest, eyes wide open. I guess eating mulberries will put hair on your chest, or should I say feathers. By July 28th and 29th, the chicks at Nest 3 were nearly full-sized. Their crests were forming, their wing feathers were in. They looked ready to fledge. I filmed them stretching their necks toward every flutter of movement in the trees, following the path of their parents with wide, gaping beaks. At one point, 2 of them crawled out of the nest and perched on the branch beside it. And yet, when the adults returned with food, all 4 quickly shuffled back into the nest as if they'd never left. Later that day, they all dozed in the heat. Oh my God, cuteness overload. And one with its mouth still open in its sleep, while the other had hung its head down, droopy. Now, I never saw the actual moment of fledgling, as the next time I visited, the nest was empty, but I did see fledglings that had already flown the coop, so to speak. One was perched in clear view, and the moment it spotted a parent approaching, it threw its head back, mouth wide open, before the adult had even landed. And just behind it, its sibling popped up from behind a branch like a jack in the box, mouth open, hoping not to be forgotten. It was the perfect blend of comedy and relief, the kind of scene that makes you smile from the inside out. But not every nest ended this way. Nest 2 had a different fate. On July 29th, I noticed only 2 chicks in the nest, and by August 2nd, only 1. It seemed that 2 of the chicks had perished. The good news is the one that remained was not abandoned, and an adult continued to visit and feed it, though it was surrounded by wasps, likely attracted to the nest by what had been lost. I last saw it on August 5th and like to believe it fledged successfully. I debated whether to share this sad news regarding Nest 2, but I do think it's important to mention because the reality is, in nature, not every life takes flight, and yet every effort still matters. What I carry with me, beyond the data and behavior, is the sense of devotion I witnessed, the berry rituals, the shared building, the parenting side by side. It reminded me there's more to bird life than survival. There's care, there's intention, and there's awe if we're willing to slow down and look for it. This is Birding with Kaliopi, where we follow quiet stories hidden in the branches and honor what it takes to build a life in the trees. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Birding with Kaliopi videos. See you in the next one.